Let me just turn myself into a detective real quick with this and this. Oui, madame, I am a professional. That didn't convince even me, so. Hi, I'm Claire Poirot, and I like some books. And apparently the Hercule Poirot books from Agatha Christie are among these books that I generally like. In this video, I kind of want to become a detective and figure out if these stories have aged well, because they were written a century ago. The shortest answer I can give you to this question is yes and no. They've aged extremely well in some regards, whereas in others, And when I say aged well, I mean if you would want to publish these books today, you would need to change a few things. And I believe that is true even if you would still put them in the same setting with the same characters and everything. I think some changes would need to be made. But we'll get to that later. First, I want to point out the positives. And for that, I will give you a very brief story about how I came to read these novels at all. In the English book club I'm in, we decided to read Murder on the Nile in January, as the movie was coming out fairly soon after that. Now, my expectations going in were so low, they were basically on the floor. I generally do not like to read stuff from the classics or the canon or however you want to call it, because I find the language used there is just too much for me. I have no idea what the characters or the author is saying. It's like they are written in a whole different language. For these books, I will say I do not feel that way. There are a lot of darlings, and everything is queer and gay, and not in a way we use those words today. But that's just part of the package of these stories being set in the first half of the 20th century. This is starting to irritate me, but I will hold on to it for a minute longer because I love how it sounds. The point was, I loved the book so much, with its faults, we're getting to them, that I read another 6 Hercule Poirot books in a week. I told you I have a problem. I blame Audible because many of the books you can get 2 for 1. I know the excuse is lame, but it's all I got. Let me be. The point is, I've read 7 Hercule Poirot novels and I want to talk about them. I did not read all of them because there are a lot. I read the best ones and the ones that were paired with the best ones on Audible. I will not even tell you which ones I read apart from the Murder on the Nile, because I want to talk about the broader topics and I want to avoid spoilers. So if you do not know which book I am discussing, I don't think it's considered spoiler. So a thing to keep in mind. You basically have wealthy white people here and that's it. If you're looking for diverse characters, you will not find them here. There are basically 2 things I loved about these books the most. The first thing is the social commentary on the position of women in society that is described there, which is wealthy white people in Europe in the first half of the 20th century. That is a mouthful. But that commentary is executed magnificently. You will have the male characters in the book proclaiming how women are so dainty, they faint at the first talk of murder and death. So there is no possible way ever that a woman could commit such an atrocity. And then in the end it turns out the woman was the mastermind behind all of this. And I just love that. Mwah. Agatha also plays with the role a woman has in the society, and I like her take on things. She doesn't beat you over the head with it. It's just woven in so smoothly into the books. The misogyny and everything, and how the women are playing their roles, but are also playing their roles. That part, absolutely amazing, but also depressing because it's very relevant to this day. But moving on to the second thing I absolutely adored about this book, and that is how the information is represented to us. We mostly get the perspective of a character that is near to Poirot but is not Poirot himself. So while Poirot points out the tiny piece of paper that was stuck there, or the vase that has been moved ever so slightly, we have no idea what Poirot is deducing from this evidence. We only hear about it at the end of the novel. Now we can talk about the things that did not age that well. The most prominent thing that I could find that did not age well are ethical concerns about suicide. I thought I was talking about a cozy mystery series, and I end up talking about feminism and suicide. Yay! Anyways, according to these books, suicide is the preferred outcome between suicide and getting arrested and bringing shame and dishonor on your family. Yeah, again, I have not read all of Hercule Poirot books, but it was amazing how many times in those ones that I have read, suicide is the option that the murderer takes after they have been revealed as the murderer. Now, how I personally feel about this is at this point not as relevant as how does Poirot feel about that, because he is actually actively encouraging it on several occasions. And also on several occasions he thinks he knows a suicide is going to occur and he does nothing to stop it. And this is the point where I believe if you would reboot Poirot to the 21st century, this is the part that would completely have to go. He would need to be the one who is at least trying to stop the suicide, and he would definitely not encourage it. In conclusion, I would say I completely understand how these books became as popular as they had become. And I think they make for an interesting read even today. However, if you cannot take this whole setting as a given, or you feel you would have real issues with choosing suicide over prison, or just suicide in general, I would tell you to skip them. And the thing that I'm taking away for my own writing is that the order in which the information is presented to us is very important and can make or break a book. And also, do not let your main protagonist, who you want to be a sympathetic guy, encourage suicide. I don't think the 21st century readers are gonna look favorably on that. Until the next time you click on one of my videos, I will probably get rid of this wonderful mustache. Ow. But I think I will keep it for the next time I need to play detective. Which might be soon, because I did read a lot of crime things lately. Also, ow.